So yesterday, Nintendo announced a Tomodachi Life Living the Dream Direct, and this is pretty interesting, as we don't know too many things about the game. We only got 2 trailers so far, and we don't know the release date yet, so we're probably going to get a lot of details revealed in this Direct. So Anton and I will be discussing this. I actually haven't played Tomodachi Life before on the 3DS. I also know it has the DS game as well, but I've been interested in playing this series. I might play the 3DS game before Living the Dream releases, but Anton is here to kind of provide more as someone who is a fan of the series, and then I'm just someone who's interested in getting into it. So we both have some predictions about what will possibly be in this Direct and in this game.
Yeah, this game I'm really excited for. Honestly, the most excited game for probably the entirety of 2026, unless they're able to top that, which I'm not sure if they're going to, for me at least. But unless they do Mario or something. But overall, this is probably my most anticipated game in quite a while.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's kind of amazing that we're finally getting a sequel, or I guess, like, technically a third game for Tomodachi Life, so I'm definitely pretty excited about this. But my first prediction doesn't actually have to do with the game itself, but just this Direct in general. I expect this Direct to be the funniest and most insane Direct we've had in years. Like, I'm expecting it to be, like, Wii U and 3DS levels of corny, because you kind of have to do something like that for Tomodachi Life, considering how crazy and funny this series is. Nintendo really has to market that and kind of get that point across to people. So I think doing like a really crazy over-the-top Direct, like something almost like the Direct that they had back in, like, I guess 2014, whenever they released Tomodachi Life on the 3DS. Like, like a Direct like that, or the Direct they did for Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U, something like really crazy and kind of funny, something that you wouldn't really expect from Nintendo nowadays, but I can honestly see them doing that for a Tomodachi Life Direct. We might even see the new president of Nintendo of America in that Direct, Devin Pritchard. I think she could possibly appear as like a Mii in this Direct, so I think that would be interesting if we saw like some people who work at Nintendo like as Mii's in this Direct, kind of like how they did for the Direct on the 3DS.
Yeah, it is quite funny how long it's been since we've got a Tomodachi Life Direct of some sort. The last one was 2014 when you look on YouTube.
Yeah. So I'm definitely hoping this one will be entertaining. But in terms of a release date, we were kind of talking about this a little before this discussion, but we were thinking that it will probably release in March, and the date that we pinned down is March 19th, because that's 2 weeks after Pokopia, and I know Pokopia, kind of to a casual, might seem like a very similar game, but I think Nintendo will probably market it very differently from Pokopia, and the games themselves are also quite different. I would say Pokopia is more of like a Animal Crossing or Dragon Quest Builders type game, and then Tomodachi Life is like definitely a separate thing, I would say. So even though it does have that similarities to like other life sim games, I feel like there are enough differences there for Nintendo to market it a little differently, and Tomodachi Life has a lot of appeal already, so I don't really think it wouldn't get overshadowed by the Wonder DLC or Wonder DLC / Switch 2 edition or Pokopia. I think it's big enough to stand on its own, and it's also different enough to not overshadow anything else releasing in March. I think it's at that perfect middle ground, so I think March 19th makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think that release date would fall right between maybe when Yoshi will come out, and just after they release everything in February, like you know, to the Virtual Boy, you've got Mario Tennis in there. They have to fill out like a space, and then there's Pokopia in there too. So, and I mean, it would make sense because they're doing this Direct first before a potential Nintendo Direct. Again, it could be a partner Direct that we do end up getting. right? Like they have to kind of they have a plan of what they're going to do this year, and if it's coming out soon, then they have to do this presentation. So yeah, it's probably very very soon. I just think March would make a lot of sense because that would be the time frame of when they announce the release date. I think if we already had a release date for this game, then maybe we would have seen it like, let's say, next month instead. But because we don't, they still need to market a lot more things to us.
Yeah, and another thing about, like, a February release date is that they would have to release it on February 20, or I guess, like, yeah, February 26th, which falls one day before Pokemon Day, and I don't think they would want to release anything around that time, especially considering the fact that this is Pokemon's 30th anniversary. So I think the end of February is kind of out of the question, I would say, because they would have to do it 2 weeks after Tennis, and then Pokopia is releasing. I think February is a little messy at this point. You never know. Nintendo is a weird company. They could do it like 1 week after Mario Tennis Fever, but that's very unlikely. But I think March 19th just makes the most sense to me. But moving on, this next one is basically Copium. But since this game is like kind of reinvigorating the Miis, like the popularity of them and everything, because it's been quite a while since we've gotten an original Mii game, like a completely new one. So I think it would be interesting if they used this game to kind of push the Miis even more and kind of make them a bigger thing again, and they actually add the Mii Maker to the main menu, like actually like a little icon for it on the main menu. Maybe they don't change anything at all, but they just add like a little icon that sends you straight to the Mii Maker. To kind of help promote this game. I think like it would be interesting, and I really hope they do something like that at some point, but very unlikely. Just Copium for me.
Yeah, I think that make a lot of sense
I know
for that, because the Miis, I think, are such an important part of the game. So for them to be as customizable as possible would be such an important tool.
Yeah, and I know the game does have its like own in-game Mii Maker, kind of like Miitopia, but I just think it would be interesting if they just pushed the Miis out a little more on like the actual Switch/Switch 2 OS. But speaking of Switch 2, I wanted to talk about how this game, like what type of enhancements it will get on Switch 2. So I actually don't think it will get a Switch 2 edition, like a separate SKU, because if you look at the Direct, it only shows the Switch 1 logo. I mean, that might mean, like, we only know about the Switch 1 version and they could announce the Switch 2 edition, but I think more likely that means that the only Switch 2 related content we'll get for Tomodachi Life will be an enhancement, like an update, kind of like Galaxy OnePlus 2, where it will add things like mouse controls, 4K 60 FPS. Like, I don't have any doubts that it will get some kind of Switch 2 enhancement, but I think a Switch 2 edition, like a separate standalone box/upgrade pack, is seeming less likely now.
Yeah, I think this is just going to be an update released alongside day one that just gives you maybe some mouse controls, if there's going to be anything like that. But I'd hope so, because it looks like from the trailer there's like a pick-me-up thing that they have. So it's likely there's going to be some sort of feature like that. Probably enhanced resolution. Again, I don't think this game is the kind of game that they can sell you on major new features and upgrades like they've been doing in Switch 2 editions. We haven't really seen Nintendo just say, oh, we're going to release another version of the game exactly the same on day one that doesn't have much difference. So they could do it, but I feel like it wouldn't really be that necessary, right? They'd kind of do it how they did with Mario Galaxy 1+2, where that had Switch 2 stuff at launch, even though it didn't have a dedicated Switch 2 edition.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think they're going to do at this point. And another thing, I think islands will be linked to accounts rather than the system itself. Like, so I think it will be different than Animal Crossing in that regard. So you could basically start up like a like a new file on a different account and you'll have a
Mhm.
different island. I hope they do something like
Like, you
that.
know how it works? You know how it works on the 3DS? How it
How
works is that it's actually tied to the cartridge of the game.
interesting.
So if you buy a cartridge, you will get that person's save data on it. And that's how I was able to load it on this 3DS. This old save data, the footage that you're probably seeing on screen right now. So um, that footage, the way that gameplay is running on that card, the cartridge that we bought a long time ago. My sister bought. Well, we bought together, and you can kind of take that game to any different one. It's not tied to the SD card like Pokemon games are, for example.
Yeah. So I'm hoping with this game they like allow you to have like different islands on different accounts and things. I hope it's like not as strict. I don't think it will be as strict as Animal Crossing with like different things. Because this probably is being, well, I would think this would be developed by a different team. Like a different team at Nintendo EPD. So I think like they can't like I don't think things will be as strict here in terms of like content between like save files and things like that, or like just like any save data in this game. So I'm thinking um hopefully you'll be able to have like more flexibility with this. And getting into the Miis themselves, I think we're gonna get makeup from Miitopia. It might not be exactly the same, but I think it would be nice to see that feature return here. I know I've seen like a few people say that like they shouldn't have that because it like kind of defeats the purpose of how simple Miis are and just like portraying a lot just with not like just with a limited amount of options. But I would say I kind of like the flexibility of makeup. It's completely optional. Like you don't need to use makeup. And I've only like in Miitopia, I kind of had a mixture of Miis that used it and Miis that didn't. So I do like the option, and it also like allows people to like be creative, and even if you don't like have that much skill in making things like that, like I think like being able to experiment, like you can still like create some interesting things even if you're not like used to the system or you don't like create a lot of art. Like I mean I do like some art sometimes with like Paper Mario stuff, but with the Kirby Air Riders My Machine, I've been able to make some pretty interesting looking machines even within that system there and not knowing how to use that system for too long. So it's like I think it does like there definitely is some flexibility there and it's not really super difficult to use.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, what are your thoughts on like the makeup from Miitopia?
I think it would just give us so much customizability. Like, I get the appeal of not having it too. Um, as that's obviously not what the game's about, but I think just having the feature there regardless would be a nice thing.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know who's developing this or if that system would be very similar to that version in Miitopia. I don't know, it'd be as complex, but even just like I think half the complexity would be nice.
Yeah.
I think just more options is better than having no options. And if you want to try to sell the game, it's like, oh, you can customize and do it whatever you want, And again, the way that they marketed it in Miitopia wasn't supposed to be what it ended up kind of being, anyways, right?
Yeah.
So,
And imagine if they like did like realize like what that system is capable of and like actually what if they decided to implement it in a different way, like rather than using it on the Miis, maybe it's like customization for like clothes or just or furniture or different things in the game. Like you could create all these like really interesting designs, almost like I was saying earlier with My Machine. Like maybe it's not for the Mii itself, but maybe like just something else in the game. I think that's possible, honestly, if they want to just go with the route of just having the Miis just be regular Miis, but still have that like that very flexible and customizable system in some area of the game. I can honestly see that.
yeah.
But
I just hope it is similar to that system, and I think it would be really nice that you can hopefully like download other ones that people make, right?
yeah,
That would definitely give you a lot more option to be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get this code from another one that someone made. I think that'd be really nice and make it a bit easier to add your favorite characters or people, right? So that'd be pretty pretty cool. And I think another feature too that they should do is they should make it so that way, maybe you can say like you can add your me as like your profile, and like people can add you. You know what I mean? Something like that would be cool.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, I want to add Reese to my island,
Yeah.
and as long as the person allows that or something, I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. And another thing is, I think it would be cool if you could transfer your Miis from Miitopia, because on the 3DS, from what I've heard, you can transfer your Miis from Tomodachi like to Miitopia, but it would be interesting if they had the reverse on the Switch, where you could transfer your Miis from Miitopia, like the Switch version, to Tomodachi Life. I think that would be pretty interesting. Because like I have quite a lot of Miis on Miitopia, both like ones that I've like downloaded on there and just like ones that I've made. So it would be nice to have those in Tomodachi Life, so I don't have to like make a ton of Mii. I do already have a decent amount of like funny random Miis that I've just made within the Mii Maker that I can use, but like it would be nice if I could use the ones from Miitopia as well.
Yeah, I think it's likely they can bring that over. They just have to bring in over how the system works, and then kind of make like a similar version that like accepts those ones. I don't know how they would do it, but maybe just use the code from, wasn't it codes in that game, right? That you can.
I think it was
use?
codes, yeah.
Yeah, so they could just do that where it's like, oh yeah, but from there you can bring them over somehow, and use those codes. So that would be really neat. I hope that they do that. I think that'd be fun.
And I also think we could see Amiibo support. We've been seeing Amiibo support in a lot of games lately. Even though this won't be like a Switch 2 game, we have been seeing like Amiibo support in like even most other games too, like Mario Galaxy 1+2 had Amiibo support as well, despite the fact that it's like mainly a Switch 1 game. So I could definitely see, and also Metroid Prime 4 as well. So I could definitely see Amiibo support in this game. Maybe not new Amiibos, because that would be kind of weird with the Miis. I know we have the Mii Fighter Amiibos for Smash Bros, but I honestly don't know what they would do for like.
You can order your own custom Mii.
Yeah,
that will be $100 and
$200,
$80. That'll be $200 per Mii.
Yeah.
And the only thing we're changing is like the hair color and the.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you pick a preset. Or they just give you like a box of different parts and you make it yourself. It's like Mii kit, like you could.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, pick the parts that you want to do, and there you go, perfect.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, though, I think the Amiibo support will be like just like supporting like most regular Nintendo Amiibo figures, and it would be interesting if they had like certain clothes and furniture based on recent Nintendo games that have been releasing and kind of support those Amiibo, like with Donkey Kong Bonanza, Tears of the Kingdom, Mario Wonder, since that game is getting new Amiibo figures, Kirby Air Riders. It would just be pretty interesting if there were like certain things based on those like Amiibo figures. So I could definitely see that being implemented into this game. But moving on, this is kind of something that you would know more about, but I know about this a little bit. But I don't think we'll see region-locked food in this game, because from what I've heard from the one on the 3DS, there were different types of foods in different regions. It doesn't really seem like something they'll do nowadays, considering how the Switch and Switch 2 are region-free. It would be kind of weird to region-lock things, especially if they want to have
the original
connectivity.
Game, it does. The original game does have a lot of like Japanese foods. Like I'm just playing it right now here. It actually does have a lot of options, surprisingly. Like you do have like ramen and fried rice, like a lot of those options. But I'm not sure about everything. But that's really interesting that they did lock some stuff out. So I'm sure that won't be an issue though. They don't really do stuff like that anymore.
Yeah, that's kind of something that like ended with the Switch era. Like since like the late 2010s, we really haven't seen Nintendo region lock much things at all. Like including both like game release dates. Like just they tend to keep things consistent worldwide now. So I think that's very unlikely that they would do that. And another thing is a higher maximum me count. Like, wasn't the original game 100 total me's for like the max amount?
Yeah, there's only a certain amount that you could do.
What do you think like the maximum amount will be in like in living the dream? I'm thinking it will probably be, if it was 100 in the 3DS game, I'm thinking it would probably be around 250 in this game. That's 250 to 300, I'm thinking.
Yeah, in this game you can do. Let's see. Yeah, probably be a lot more. So yeah, they probably put. I don't think the cap will be too much. I mean, they want you to put lots of people in your island. So I'm just curious to see like how, like, obviously it's gonna not be an apartment building, it's gonna be houses. Now
Yeah.
in this game they did have houses actually as well. There are homes. When the Miis get married, they can move into their homes. So I'm curious to see if they will still have that kind of thing. Because the idea is that, you know, you're supposed to start in the apartment and then you move out to like a bigger place. So will they still be like that, or is it just going to be like island life kind of thing?
Maybe like instead of like going from an apartment to a house, like maybe it's like they start off in a small house and then they upgrade to like a bigger house. Almost like how it is in Animal Crossing. Maybe it's something
Yeah,
like that.
maybe they can do something like that.
Yeah. I think it would be also pretty interesting if like your island like expanded over time and you just like had like um I'm not sure how they would do that exactly, like either the island just grows or like um just like more things pop up over time. I think that would be interesting as well, like when you get more Miis on your island.
Hmm. Yeah, it'd be cool to upgrade it and customize it. Which I think we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Or in a little bit. But one thing I do want to talk about is that I think hopefully the music stuff where you can create your own like performances, hopefully that comes back. And if it does, I think all the songs, some of the previous, like the preset songs, I hope that they all come back from both Tomodachi Collection and Tomodachi Life. I think both of those have great music for that. So hopefully they just remaster some of the old ones and bring them in. I think it'd be really cool.
Yeah, that would be pretty interesting. I could definitely see them doing something like that, as like in a lot of Nintendo games lately, they kind of like to celebrate the history of the series. So, I definitely could see them doing that in Living the Dream. And then going
Although I am
back,
curious about how they. I'm just gonna say one thing is like I'm curious to see how they're gonna moderate stuff this time around, because the original game was not moderated at all, or if there's just not gonna be any moderation whatsoever. I wonder how they're gonna do things like that, because you could make some very interesting music. So I guess we're gonna see what kind of restrictions or guardrails they have, if they're even gonna put this system in, because I think it'd be funny to have the music back.
yeah. And going back to customization, we saw in like the trailers for the game that there will be a thing called Quick Build. It's like a little building. So I'm thinking that might be for like customizing different things on your island. I think like that kind of makes sense. Like, and I think like customization will definitely be a big thing in this game. I know like one huge like component to the Tomodachi Life series is just things happening randomly, but I think they can kind of mix elements of customization and randomness together. Like maybe if you customize something and then just something happens to it, or like it just changes over time. I think like having a balance between customization and randomness honestly sounds kind of fun, and I hope they do something like that in this game.
Hmm. Yeah, hopefully you can lay out the island, and redesign it, because we can see that you can turn around the camera, because there's different shots of different angles of the houses in that second trailer that we got. So hopefully there's a lot of customization here. It's like a little bit grid-like, so I'm curious to see how like if it's very simple, you have a little more complexity. Not that we need it, because it's not that kind of game. If you want the complexity, it's Animal Crossing that you're going to play, right? This obviously has to be give you control of a lot of things. Obviously more than the original game did, but it has to have enough depth there, right? That keeps coming back. So, but it looks like all the shops are there, and I wonder what kind of new facilities they're gonna add. Will they add like, oh, you can? It'd be cool if there was like, oh, you can say with the money that say that your Mii's get or that you save up, you can say buy a movie theater, and you plop the movie theater down, or because in the original game you just unlock things as you play. It'd be cool if you could like purchase extra buildings, like, oh, we can. Well, I'm not saying like, oh, you can buy a Walmart and then plop it down. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you can plop it down, but obviously they do need to make sure that you unlock stuff. But it'd be cool if you could really customize like your like almost like a town, right? I hope it's something like that.
Yeah. And then finally, I think this will be one of Yoshio Sakamoto's last games, since he's been involved with every game before this in the Tomodachi Life / Collection series. I would consider he's basically technically like one of the creators. I know he was a producer on Tomodachi Life on the 3DS, so I feel like he'll possibly be involved with this game as well. I know he's definitely getting older, like with kind of compared to a lot of developers at Nintendo. He's kind of like a part of that like first generation of developers at Nintendo, along with Miyamoto and Kensuke Tanabe and others, since he's been with Nintendo since the 80s. I think he's 66 now, so that's like kind of around retirement age. So I would definitely expect either this game, or I think he's involved with Rhythm Heaven as well, so he might have been involved with Brute. But as well as like if there's going to be a new 2D Metroid game releasing this year. But I would say either one of those games will be his last game if he's not retired already. But there's definitely a real possibility that this could be the last game that he's involved with. So yeah. But anyways, those are our predictions for the Direct, and I guess the game in general. I guess some of these things like don't necessarily have to be revealed in the Direct, but like they're mostly just for the game in general. But I am really looking forward to this game and just getting into the series in general. But yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to go subscribe to Anton Retro and check out my Blue Sky and Discord server as well. And stay perky!
See ya.